Hey everybody, this is Sunny Justice from It's a Crime and Shame. Now, I put out a video called Part 3, and I really wanted to go over this with you. Thank you guys all so very much for all your comments and theories and thoughts with regards to the Nicola Bulley case. This case, like many others, has been very intriguing to say the least, but very sad in the same situation. But I really wanted to sit there and go over some of the comments, and we will touch on some of those in this particular video. But again, thank you so much for becoming subscribers, and especially for taking the time out to leave comments. You know, I know that there's a lot of comments on there, and the people have a lot of thoughts when it comes to regards to the Nicola Bulley case. I too, again, have, you know, my thoughts, and everyone's entitled to their own thoughts, and as long as you keep it respectfully and classy in here. But other than that, anything's fair game when it comes to your own thoughts and opinions on what you think might have happened to Nicola Bulley. And hopefully in time we will find out the true answers, hopefully. Anyways, you guys, thank you again so much for becoming subscribers. So let's get into it, and thank you so much again. We're just going to go through some of your guys' comments here in the video. And I want to first and foremost say, of course, that Nicola Bulley's case has personally meant a lot to me. I remember when I first seen it come out, and I believe I seen Gisla from Grizzly True Crime, and I remember it saying, like, you know, like Nicola Bulley, and I was like, oh, you know, who's that? And then I thought, okay, so it's this mom that went missing, but, you know, like, they'll find her. And so it was one of those things that, you know, obviously there was more to it than that. And then I took an interest in the case because it was very intriguing. Like, where did Nicola Bulley go, like, in this 10-minute window? Because you're listening to what they have to say, the police, you know, you're watching, like, the news stories that are coming out, and you just can't make hide nor hair that they can't find her in the water, you know, and they're giving this 10-minute window, and there's no CCTV footage, at least that we've seen, besides, of course, in the morning, which Grizzly True Crime put out from Paul Ansel, was, you know, Nicola Bulley, like, leaving the house with Willow, getting into the vehicle, and that was really about it. But we all knew that, you know, supposedly she had left there that morning, of course. And I know that some people think differently about it, and that's okay. And some people think that that's Emma White. And again, we're just going to go through these comments, you guys, and just, I'm going to read them, and we're just going to talk about them. But prayers, of course, rest in peace for beautiful Nicola Bulley, and prayers to all the people that are affected by Nicola Bulley, especially to the children. Okay, the children, again, have lost a mom, and that mom is not replaceable. So prayers for them that, you know, as their life goes on, that they hopefully go unscathed as best as they can during a very traumatic situation that has happened in their lives, you know. So again, and bless all the people that are following the case and that put a lot of time and care into it as well. Okay, so we'll just start off here with, let's see. So the Dabster. Hi, Dabster. And I know you've sent me a lot of emails, and I honestly, I want to apologize. I'm not the biggest email person in the world, but, and you have sent me a lot of stuff. And hopefully some of the things that you have said have been answered through lives and through videos and stuff like that. And when I really do have time, I get overwhelmed when I see that many emails. But you know what? I can see this passion that you have for this case and all those different thoughts. Thank you so much for caring about the Nicola Bulley case. And obviously you have a lot of thoughts and questions as well. So Penny said in the paper that she made regular walks along the river for something to do, so she would recognize dogs and their owners more than probably anyone. So what I found, again, confusing is that Becky, I think it was, said that, you know, Nicola didn't know who the dog belonged to or who the phone belonged to. But yet, really, it was said in the papers that She knew who it belonged to, but she had known the dog, but she couldn't remember. It's almost like when somebody's brain freezes or something like that, and she couldn't remember, but she knew, had seen the dog. And, you know, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like, I believe it's Anne Marie. I believe Anne Marie has Nicola Bulley on her friends list, so they would have known Nicola. But maybe just during that situation, who knows what happened there. Perhaps, like I said, you know, when you're getting news information and you're getting the police saying something and news information saying different things, well, that's the best thing that we got to go off of, unless we're personally, legitly talking to these people. Let's see here. So, psychics, he says, I don't know what happened to Nicola. Maybe they will find river experts who will disagree with the prevailing opinions that her body would have been found if she entered the water near the bench. There is a lot we do not know about her, especially her medications. Sometimes people experience side effects from antidepressants that result in, we'll say, taking themselves out. Police may be worried about their own ability in how to handle the January 10th incident, or in how the January 10th incident was handled. This was not a domestic violent incident. I think Paul may have called for medical assistance when he could not wake her. She may have had an accident mixing alcohol with sleeping pills or other meds. There should be follow-up to make, let's see, read more. Sure, it wasn't intentional. I think the police think it was, and that may not be a conclusion that is merited by all the facts. I doubt we will ever know what happened. Paul and her family may learn more. They need time to process what has happened. The public should follow their lead. If they eventually want to make a public statement, they will. You know, again, we don't know, you know, only people that are in her life or the police know exactly what that January 10th incident was about. Obviously, it was some sort of welfare check. So, you know, obviously with the fact that they brought up vulnerabilities, okay? So I've said this before and I'll say it again. If they had already deemed that something happened to Nicola and she was in the water, that would, of course, meant that she had already passed away. Now, you know, it drowned in the water. So, you know, at some point, you know that they're second guessing themselves for sure, because they got dive team experts, they're doing land searches, water searches, and they're coming up with nothing. Okay, so they're literally coming up with, so now they have to start thinking about, well, wait, okay, now we have to look more at some of these other avenues instead of just the fact that it was an accident and she fell in the water. You can almost see that they put that out there, and it's almost like you could probably see that they were maybe panicking a bit, because they're like, wait, like, there's nothing to show of a third party, they're saying already, and they're just drawing the conclusion, but they have nothing to go on but by the witnesses and whatever. They're just basing it on that, hey, in this window we don't see her going this way or anything, there's nothing to show anything else has happened, so we're going to deem it that she had an accident and fell into the water, you know. And so obviously by putting out the vulnerabilities, that meant to say, you know, for allowing that information to be released by the family, that meant to say that, hey, you know, Nicola obviously had some issues going on, and she could have perhaps unalived herself, perhaps. So when there's people out there making comments and stuff like that that are saying, like, you know, that Nicola didn't die by taking her own life and stuff like that, you know as much as I know. The only people that know the true answers is close family and friends, perhaps, and of course the police, because the family would have not released that information if it wasn't something that was plausible. The family did not believe that Nicola was in the water, and they were led to believe that a lot by Peter Falding. Now, that's a whole different topic in itself, Peter Falding. He really did become the scapegoat for pretty much the entire case, didn't he? Now, but the thing is that those strong words that Peter Falding put out about, you know, if she's in the water, we'll find it, you know, and then after the fact, of course, you have to go back to the little technicalities. Well, I meant, yeah, in the water, but not in the reeds, which he had originally said. But, you know, he became the finger pointer that they were pointing, in a sense. You know, enough so that they took away his, or suspended his license, or took him out of some sort of, you know, expert dive team circular thing that he was in there with other obviously experienced dive teams. So I thought that that was pretty, I don't know, I think that was pretty disgusting, considering the fact that he volunteered his time freely. He did say that unless she's in the reeds, but he also was a big voice that was basically telling, like Paul too, like, you know, like basically she's not in the water. She does not seem to be in the water. We've checked here, there, everywhere. And so the family believed that she was not in the water. And Paul Ansel literally said that. So if you have Nicola's own parents and sister saying, you know, if you're watching, you know, please come home, you know, etc., right? Because you know, in their own thoughts that they could be thinking that something else happened. Like maybe she just walked away from her life. So nobody actually knows the answers. So when somebody says, and still to this day, until we absolutely hear the answers ourselves, and even then some people are not going to believe it, until we hear the answers ourselves, you know, then we'll know, hopefully in June, that they'll release, you know, some sort of statement with regards to Nicola Bulley. Hopefully that will be the case, because I know it's, you know, in a sense, it's none of the public's business. But obviously when people put a lot of care and try to help, make meaning, at the end of the day, they ask for the help of the public. You know, they ask for the help of the public and witnesses and anyone that can, you know, offer them information. So when the public helps a family, in return, you know, it's not so wrong that the family give back to all the people that have helped, just to give them a simplistic answer. I don't think that's so far off the wall myself, you know, because that's the whole point. You're using the public's help and everybody's help to gather information. So, you know, to me, I would be grateful back to the public myself, and I would want people to know the actual answers to it, regardless. So, I mean, each to their own on that personal thought. So, you know, we don't know exactly what went on, but again, that you can't take away from what the family was thinking themselves, because that information should never have been released to the public, okay? The vulnerabilities, to sit there and say that she had some mental health issues, that's fine. But to literally sit there and put out about menopause and the fact that she had alcohol issues, we did not need to know that. That was really none of our business, and they didn't need to put that out there. That was for them to know, to have the information, to know which way to look, in case there was, of course, the other scenarios going on, not just an accident of she fell in the water. So that was, to me, very distasteful, very inappropriate, and hopefully that they've learned a lesson from ever doing something like that again. You know, it's one thing when it's actually going to help the case, but for us to know that, how is that helping the public? Like, the public in no way could help them. It just made us have more, you know, scenarios and stuff like that. And instead of doing what they thought it was going to do, which was to suppress all the speculation, it honestly just added more to the speculation by doing that. And being the fact that they're the ones that are in charge and they're the superiors of how, you know, of dealing with cases and that, they should have known better. Even if the family requested it, they should have still known better to say, look, we will deem it as vulnerabilities and leave it at that, mental health issues, but we're not going to give specifics. And that was just very distasteful to me. And I know a lot of you guys feel the same way as well, and maybe perhaps some of you don't, and that's okay. So thank you very much, Psychics, for your comment. Sally Ramison, or Ramison. I probably don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyways, hey Sally, how are you? Fiona, heads up, there was no cliffs in the area at all. So Fiona, it's not that there was cliffs, but many times it was always said that that drop down is very steep, and it is quite steep. And it's about 10, was it about 10 feet, 10 meters? No, 10 feet, I believe it was, you know, of a drop. And so, you know, it is a significant drop. So if you were, let's just say you were to trip over the dog, and this is what I was trying to explain, I think, to psychics there. So let's picture the fact that you have this drop, okay, going on. And so if your body goes over that drop, and then you say, just go with me on this, and then you put your hands out, but your hands go lower than, you know, in a sense, because you're in a deeper part of the water there than necessarily the 2 feet. But let's say your hands go into a little bit deeper of the water, but where your head lands or hits, perhaps, it's a little bit higher elevation because the water is going to be going like this, right? So if your hands go here, but your head is higher, and perhaps they said there was a lot of rocks there, you know, it is possible that she tripped, you know. So she tripped, she flies over into the water, goes to go put her hands down, because you're not going to be doing this typically when you're going down. You know, you're going to do that if something's up in the air, but you're typically going to put your hands out to break your fall when you hit the you know, the earth there. But again, if the hands are lower into the water than where your head is, because remember, it's going deeper. So it is possible that she could have hit her head and then, you know, floated down the river. And according to Peter Falding, you know, she would have just basically drowned and been like right there. But she wasn't right there. Perplexing that you have this expert dive team, you know, the dive teams from the police. You got everyone searching and all that stuff, and yet Nicola is nowhere to be found. Okay, again, you know, they didn't find her. It was Jason Rothwell that found her, and his friend that found her at about a quarter of a mile before the spot where she actually landed, as I showed you in this video. So, you know, good on somebody for coming across Nicola. Again, very sad. In your head, you kind of just want to know what happened. Like, you know, people are saying that she got placed in there after the fact. And that's what people want to know. They want to know the answers. Like, okay, if she just fell, there's no way. She should have just been there. Like, she just disappeared. And that's what makes people go, like, what the heck's going on here? As someone just doesn't disappear, you know? I mean, yeah, it does happen in life, but meaning if you fell into the water and the water's not very deep there, and you just disappear and nobody can find you, not all the advanced equipment, not anything, and then 3 weeks, you know, a psychic medium, tarot card reader, Jason Rothwell, finds Nicola and the friend, and what is that, you know, like, I guess, you know, that's one of those things where that perfect storm happens and everything just goes the wrong way. Was she caught up? You know, like I said, I mean, I had said in the video about a weir, and then somebody said, no, you can't do that, but yet I can easily go to the internet and Google it, where the weir, because you got the water going this way and the water going this way, so it would be pushing down. So again, each to their own thoughts. Did she get hung up, you know, in another read along the way, and she just got overlooked? But in your head, you're thinking, but they had all these searchers. How does one get overlooked if they've been up and down it multiple times? Because we're talking 3 weeks later, you know, 3 weeks. So what else we got? We got Dylan Fowler. He says, hold on, we have no dash cam footage of her walking along Garstang Road. Caravan Park was probably used by Emma to bring Willow to the fields. Then that's where Emma started playing with her phone. Some say Nikki died when her Fitbit stopped. Apparently, she always left her Fitbit on. Okay, yeah, but her Fitbit, they said, hadn't been synced for like 3 days. Oops, sorry, hit something on my desk here. Hadn't been turned on for 3 days since the Tuesday. And so, Again, so that's the information that was told to us. No, we don't have a dash cam. Doesn't mean that they don't have dash cam. So again, it's just different things when you don't really have much, just leads to speculation. There's nothing wrong with speculation to me, as long as it's done very tactfully and tastefully along the way. Tony Martinez. Hi, Tony. Very well made clip. Many thanks, honey. Thank you so much. You know, I remember seeing somebody that left a comment in here, and I gave him a little smart ass comment back, because it's like, you know, when you make videos and you spend hours sometimes to make a 5-minute clip, because you have to sit there and not only produce the clip but gather the information and all that stuff, and unless you're a creator yourself and making those videos, so that particular video took me days to make. It's a lot of work to sit there and do cutouts and all that stuff, and then add to it and think of exactly what you're going to do and trying to do and gather the information. So when somebody sits there and puts in like ignorant comment, I mean, I just laugh at them, to be honest with you. But the bottom line is, for those people that do put those, like, you know, ignorant comments and posts on other creators' videos and stuff like that, one, why don't you start creating videos yourself? Instead of using this, why don't you start creating videos yourself and being useful and be a voice? Instead of a voice on people's videos to be ignorant and rude, why don't you become a voice for like someone like Nicola Bulley that had gone missing and put out videos and actually caring and stuff like that? Okay, so ones like that, it's just like, yeah, whatever. Because it's just, you know, it's so laughable when people try to put you down for a video going like, this is nothing new. The video wasn't supposed to be anything new. It was supposed to, this video was simply a video to basically show a few discrepancies and to give people more of a visual of the timeline, and trying to do it in a way that is more interactive with the audience. And that was simply it. So the people that appreciate that and are here for Nicola Bulley, you know, instead of to try to bully the creators around, thank you very much. And always appreciated. Paul was phoned by the school. They told him that the dog was there, I think. That's correct, Fiona, on that. Paul was phoned by the school. That's what was said. And the thing that I'm confused about still is, okay, so if Penny tied up the dog, even though Ron had said, Ron, the one in the interview, said that, you know, I was trying to call my wife was trying to call me, Penny was calling my wife, and then said we should tap the dog. Okay, so that means that Penny didn't tap the dog then, because why would Ron say that? But then again, you know, people can sometimes say these words and they're kind of out of context to what really exactly happened there. So, I mean, I would like to think that, you know, Penny would have tied up the dog or something before leaving to go back home to figure out, you know, who this belonged to. So, you know, there's always going to be pieces missing, and that's where the speculation comes in. Let's see here. Kelly says, gosh, I just don't know. I could believe she had some sort of accident causing her to fall. But then I wonder why her phone would be on the bench, or was it even on the bench? And of course, many wonder why she wasn't found sooner if she fell near the bench. Yeah, Kelly, you know, honestly, very intriguing, because, you know, so I can understand the fact again. So if she was on the bench and she had her phone and she was like still logged into the call, and then let's say she got up, and this is just hypothetically speaking, if we're deeming it as an accident perhaps. So you can see someone putting their phone down on the bench, you know, maybe went to go, you know, maybe Willow was doing something and she got up, you know, and then perhaps tripped over Willow and fell into the water, or perhaps she did have an episode which caused her to pass out and end up in the water, you know. But putting your phone down, see, that doesn't almost make sense to me. Putting your phone down and then getting up if you're not feeling well. So that doesn't make as much sense to me as having your phone down, Willow's doing something, perhaps she trips over the leash or the lead, and then, you know, like flips into the water. You know, that makes the most sense to me, more than somebody, you know, kind of like, whoa, let me just walk over to the water's edge. You know, now, the one gentleman in the video said that that the dog was trying to get over the stile, that it wasn't running between the gate and the bench, that it was trying to get over the stile. You know, so if it was to go with the accident theory, that would mean that, say, Willow would have seen Nicola kind of in the water and tried to go after her and couldn't get over the stile. Because obviously, because it is so steep right there, you know, a dog's probably going to go up to it and back off and go up to it and back off. And some dogs are going to jump, you know, and other dogs won't. So that could go with the whole accident part. Unless, of course, she literally went over the stile and left that way by chance. Again, we don't know the real answer there. It's just speculation. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to wrap this one up here because I don't want to create too long of videos that you guys nod off during them, okay? So we're going to end this one here. I love the fact of you guys putting these questions, and I'm going to sit here, like I said, and I'm kind of going through some of them, and we're going to discuss them. So I will be putting out another video after this one with some more of the questions and comments, I should say, that you guys have put out into the Nicola Bulley Part 3. So again, thank you very much for watching this video. Again, please leave your comments in the comment section. And please, if you're not subscribed to this channel, consider subscribing. Thanks again, you guys, for taking the time out with me. That's why I love doing stuff like this. Actually, I need to do it more to, you know, go back through your guys' comments so that, you know, again, you guys are the ones that are participating, coming over and subscribing. So it's always nice to be interactive that way with people that are taking the time out to leave these comments. I'm sorry if I don't get to everyone, of course, because there is a lot of comments, but I'm going to put out another video, like I said, with regards to some more of these comments and questions that are on the Nicola Bulley case. So thank you guys so much. Have a great night, and please give this video a like and a share.
No words can describe the heartache. No words of comfort anyone can say. I've never felt a pain like this before. A piece of my heart died with you. But I guess heaven needed you.